brought onto the table for the side of Bigetron. They have the aggression, they have the CC, they have the map vision coming in from Natalia, as well as the high rotations from both the Natalia as well as the Fanny. And ONIC Esports, how will they be able to counter all the aggression, the assassin aggression coming in from Bigetron? Because when I see it in the early game, ONIC Esports, they're lacking a few factors here.
Well, crowd control is there. Damage in a way with the Paquito is there. I think range is one of the big things that they are lacking right now. If it comes to a big team fight, no one can actually do a lot of damage without taking some more damage. So as we mentioned, that 1-1 will be the pick.
Oh man, I'm so conflicted right now. Bigetron Alpha with this composition. This is nasty. I mean, Bigetron Alpha, they're going for the complete opposite. They're going for a full team fight composition here, Arashi, whereas Bigetron, I mean ONIC, they're going for a full pick, technically, but with some damage from the 1-1 as well and the Paquito. The name of the game is going to be Snowball. Who is going to be able to get that early game control, get it, translated to more objectives and control towards that mid game.
I agree. But in the scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things, I think ONIC Esports, they need a little bit more time, especially with the 1-1. We all know 1-1 is a bit dependent on her items. She needs her items to scale. So when it comes down to it, Bigetron, they can actually take it early on and actually snowball into the later stage of the game, understanding that they also have the Ruby. So ONIC Esports, they have the Cho, they have the Paquito who want to dive in, and that's exactly what the Ruby is built for.
Well, I think the 1-1 will be actually independent, being able to dodge away from a lot of crowd control, but we go straight into the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for ONIC to face off against the robots, Bigetron Alpha, in this match. The fans are going crazy. I want to hear you guys as well. Technically not here, but see it in chat. Hashtag Bigetron win or hashtag go ONIC. Because ONIC right now, Samo has been able to reset that buff. He's going in for more as he jumps in towards that bottom side. CW already zoned. Matt playing this in the gold lane. Kagura, as Samo, he's going to be caught right now with Max jumping with the cables as well as Renbo. It's going to be first blood picked up. There you have it. Bigetron Alpha takes the kill. ONIC takes the little Wanderer in the wind lane as well. He is able to chunk some damage on towards Keyboy.
Yeah, this is exactly what we expect coming in from Bigetron Alpha. They do have the early game dominance, I feel, a bit more than the side of ONIC Esports. Understanding the presence of the Ruby as well as a Natalia, and we're just gonna have to see how ONIC Esports can actually deal with this, because usually we see Keyboy being able to roam around the map, being able to do the pickoffs, but because there's a Natalia, it's going to be quite considerably different, especially if they get caught in the same area in a 1v1 situation.
We saw earlier though how the Selena can be a great pick to counter Natalia, but Samo HT in this early game is going to be so vulnerable. Franco has a lot of crowd control, but he isn't very mobile. If he gets engaged on, it's going to be quite difficult for him to get out with his life intact. So now CW is still trying to play a bit aggressive, but Key is always close by to try and make sure he punishes CW at every step of the way.
Oh, wait a minute. Keyboy gets an Avisa arrow onto Matt. Is still able to dash away for now, but damage will be put onto him. Key looking for the follow-up right now as Keyboy is going to be targeted, but everyone is trying to collapse. Max is here. There is no ultimate yet on Samo. He misses the Iron Hook. Max doesn't want to go for more. Both of the teams disengage, but in the mid lane, Renbo needs to be careful here. That's going to be the Paquito and Franco jumping onto him. Stun will be able to stop it in this tracks. A little bit of a taunt right there from Renbo to his former teammate.
I do agree, but from the side of ONIC Esports, I feel like because Franco is more of a utility type of tank, there's a lot of emphasis placed on this Cho as well as the Paquito later on when they go into the team fights. I think Samo's only job is to land that ultimate onto the core members like the Fanny, especially when it comes down to it. So we're just going to have to see. I mean, so far, I feel like Max has been farming incredibly easily. Like, there is no follow-up coming from ONIC Esports whatsoever, and even if there is, Bigetron Alpha is always there to be able to back his teammates up, and it all comes down now because now they're going to be contesting this neutral objective in that turtle.
Well, Renbo actually goes over Diamond Pendant on the Samo. That's going to be him suppressed as well. Natalia going to be picked off the map, but it's going to be Sorizo looking for more. Max picks up the kill. Where the Dragon going to be popped onto Renbo as he's trying to run away right now. He goes in for the stun, stops him in his track, so 1-for-1 right now, but it is a Franco traded for a Natalia. Renbo gets retribution. Sorizo in the midst of it all now in a 1v2, still able to buy some time as Boots goes in for the Jikundo to dash and hit him a little bit more, but both of the teams instantly disengage. No turtle just yet.
You saw earlier the crowd control potential from ONIC Esports. Once it comes to the mid game, when the ultimates are ready, when teams can set up properly, and ONIC having the extra advantage of Abyssal Traps to just get more intel, I think they can actually come out really strongly in that mid game, provided that they don't get comboed. Because we mentioned earlier, the crowd control from Bigetron Alpha, you know, especially on Rainbow with the Ammo Offended, has potential to just turn things on its head. So ONIC needs to be careful, but so far they are taking the initiative.
Uh-oh, Rainbow gets the Iron Hook. He's going to be able to flicker away. That's a lot of resources popped, but it is a free turtle to the hands of ONIC Esports. Sans picks it up, and he will be a little bit slightly, you know, more farmed up than Max.
Surprisingly so. I mean, earlier on, it did seem like Max was able to get ahead because of this Fanny, but over and over, time and time again, Samo being able to reset the buff is actually preventing him from being able to be mobile around the map as we're usually accustomed to when it comes down to the Fanny.
Can we talk a little bit about this Ruby in the mid lane? Abyssal Arrow gonna be popped right there as Rainbow goes in for the stun onto two members. As I'm offended connecting. Samo gets the suppress on towards Max. The way the dragon is well gonna be popped. Sans goes in for the knockout strike. Gonna be able to connect right there as Rainbow is on the back foot. He's trying to run away, but Sans comes in with the punch to silence him. Hey, double kill picked up as Cerezo is one level behind a Boots. He had to leave his lane early. The consecration will not be there, and that is a very, very favorable trade for the side of ONIC.
Boots left that lane really at such a great time. The wave is still pushing. Now they have the chance to zone Cerezo out unless they go for the push. But the play there, the way of the dragon connects onto the Fanny. How did he find that in the middle of so much chaos in that fight?
You know, when it's chaotic, when it's all hot, you need something refreshing. Buy the Garuda Splash right now. Get 50% off of your Garuda Splash with the MPL Season 9 ticket. Go ahead and scan the barcode for Sinopolis Cinemas. But right now, Arashi, Ruby mid, Kagura in the gold. Do you think they should have just swapped? Do you think they should have just kept the normal roles?
Well, honestly, Kagura against the Selena, I guess there was more potential, but as we are talking about some pickoffs, Abyssal Arrow lands again.
Yeah, Matt is going to be chunked right there, but it's done. Will be able to connect onto Key. He buys so much time, and that's going to be worth it. Rainbow opening up the map. Fanny in the mid lane, looking for some clear as Uranus cuts the wave up top. Both of the teams playing the macro game. It is only an 8-kill game as of right now, 6 minutes in.
Yeah, very, very different to what we saw in match number 1 when we
Contrast.
saw always just constant team fights, constant skirmishes, constant pickoffs. I feel like both teams, they're a bit more calculated, and when it comes down to it, they want to be able to, you know, calculate their movements a bit better. They want to be able to control the objectives. And that's exactly what ONIC Esports is doing. And Bigetron Alpha, they were leading with a 600 gold lead, if I'm not mistaken, but it has instantly shifted to ONIC Esports. And look at this, something might be brewing once again.
Rainbow goes in for the I'm Offended onto Boots, but it is a flicker wasted, I feel like, because that was a free turtle. 1.5k to the hands of ONIC Esports. Bigetron Alpha, no response, Arashi.
Right, and they can't really find a chance to actually engage now because they do have a very limited amount of crowd control. Rainbow will be the main source, and Matt can follow it up. But aside from that, Max doesn't really have a lot of setup to work with. He is still farming really well and getting a lot done all across the map. But right now, the advantage is on to ONIC.
Yeah, Samo flickers forward, gets stunned up, but it's going to be Key jumping in. Samo gets straight in the midst of it all. Key goes in once more, but it is a mistake. Abyssal Arrow going to be able to connect onto Rainbow. Sans comes in. The damage will not be enough. Rainbow still able to sustain for now, but it might just be the tier 2 turret taken for free. Top side, they're looking for the trade, and Rainbow is actually able to buy a lot of time here. Let's see the top side as well. Fanny gets out. Both turrets here still surviving. Rainbow dodging everything in the bottom side.
Yeah, I feel like this is quite an equal trade. I mean, in a sense that the whole time that they were fighting there in the bottom side, being able to get a pick off, being able to get a turret, the same thing was actually being done by the Fanny. So another thing that has always been a really good advantage using the Fanny is not just the pressure that she can have, but she can also do a lot of split pushing, and that's exactly what Bigetron Alpha is doing now that we're going to take a look at the items here in the 8th minute.
So Cerezo already building towards the Dominance Ice, and Samo HT with the Oracle and building more towards physical damage. CW with the cautious sight can actually do a lot of damage and can chase a lot.
Oh, Sans, he might have just overstepped there, but there's no punish as of right now. Max goes in for the tables, but he doesn't have the purple buff. Sans goes in, steals away the purple. He's still surviving somehow. Sans gets out. He is looking for some damage though, but Sans will be shut down. There you have it. CW picks up the turret for the trade. Boots now caught in the midst of it all. Will Bigetron Alpha punish? It seems like they do not have the resources to do so. CW pops the crossbow tang onto Renbo. No inspired just fed. Renbo flickers at the right time to get to safety as Max looks for a kill on towards that bottom, on towards that mid lane. But man, oh man, ONIC still so objective in the 8th minute.
So objective and so aware as well is something that I noticed. It seems like Bigetron Alpha, they are trying to push and split the map a bit. But ONIC Esports, they're always just there at the right time. They're very aware of the map. They're not absorbed in what they're doing at the current moment. And it seems like Bigetron Alpha, they don't really have an option around this.
Yeah, it's really tough for them right now because so far, even though that fight in a way was still competitive, ONIC Esports were the ones that can actually make the play. That fight was all to deny the purple buff from Max. So every time they go for a fight here, ONIC is still making sure that they keep all the objectives and the bigger picture in mind.
I mean, right now, ONIC Esports, they're sitting at a 2,000 gold lead. So they're able to get all the objectives. They're able to get the pickoffs on the board. They are still equal in terms of kills from both teams, but the difference is Bigetron Alpha has not really translated into objectives as well as ONIC Esports. And with the turtle being evolved into the Lord now, we're going to have to see, will Bigetron Alpha be able to actually secure this, or will they just let it go for free to the side of ONIC Esports?
Yep, if they actually go for that, I think it'll be very difficult. And right now, ONIC instantly, again, going for that pressure onto the purple buff. There'll be a chance for Samwage to make a play here, but he will reset that buff yet again.
Well, right now, Renbo actually jumps forward with I'm offended, but it's going to be key targeted. Keyboy will be able to deal damage. Flickers forward, a trap connects. The Abyssal Arrow will not follow, but that is all he needs. A crossbow tang onto Max. He gets zoned away as that is, again, ONIC using their advantage in the early stage to get that mid lane, mid-game pressure.
Sans 4-1-1 right now, just doing a lot of damage, able to actually, deny the debuff again and again. And if he just is left alone, he is one of the main damage dealers in this early stages of the game. We talked again about the crowd control available, but the damage from Sans right now is critical.
Man, I mean, what was once a 2,500 gold lead is now a 3,200 gold lead from the side of ONIC Esports. And this is exactly what they were meant to do. They were built this way. They were built to, be able to stave off the pressure a bit early on, focus on objectives, and eventually get the lead and then snowball into greater heights. And with this 3,000 gold lead, Arashi, what have they been able to actually secure above Bigetron Alpha?
Well, Sans already has the Hunter Strike as well as the Malefic Roar, so any kind of physical defense is already able to be punched through quite literally by Sans. CW with the Demon Hunter Sword already intact, doing a lot of damage even to Sorizo, but the Brute Force Breastplate here, I think, shows again the mentality. For the most part, ONIC Esports will be trying to make plays on their own, and CW might get put in a situation where she has to actually play and save himself.
There you go. That's the pick composition, but Boots actually saves Renbo. The crossbow tank's going to be popped. That's going to be the damage coming on to Matt. The 2-double right there as CW just dismantles Bigetron Alpha. Sans in towards that mid. It is going to be the base turret in the bottom side taken down on Esports. We're going to end right now. Key jumping in on the Sans. That's going to be the damage placed onto Max, but look at Boots. He goes in for the Zikundo. The single target lockdown will be enough. Bigetron Alpha, it seems like they've just lost the game. So Rizzo in the midst of it all now, trying to clear out the waves with Key as well. Will be able to do so, but ONIC, oh my goodness! Boots gets the way the Dragon, the Iron Hook connects, but it is a Purify to help him out. Renbo comes in with I'm Offended, able to connect onto Boots, but it is still Bigetron Alpha on the back foot. 2 base turrets for ONIC.
2 base turrets and a 5,000 gold lead here, Arashi. Sorry, I'm a bit speechless. What is going on with Bigetron Alpha? They're looking scattered. They don't understand. They don't know how to initiate their winning condition. They don't know how to implement it into the game. And when it comes down to it, what happened?
They're just forced to play very reactively, and when you do that against a team with so much crowd control like ONIC Esports, looking at the replay here by the Samsung Galaxy A series, sometimes even the coordination between ONIC seems a bit scattered because there's just so much crowd control. You know, the Purifier there is used by Sorizo, so I think ONIC really wanted to end the game there. They do understand the potential for them to lose out in this huge area of effect team fights in the late game, so they wanted to go for the end there. Unfortunately, Bigetron Alpha was able to defend against that. So it's back to the drawing board. Only one more base start to be taken right now. And with all the crowd control they have, you know, for ONIC Esports, Bigetron Alpha needs to be very careful. I think only Sorizo or maybe Rainbow can afford to actually get picked off by any spell from ONIC Esports.
Yeah, for sure. And now we have a fun fact here by Grab, which is quite interesting. So because Max picked up this Fanny, it turns out Geek Fam is the only team that has yet to show the Fanny. So all the teams, all 7 teams in MPL Season 9 has brought the Fanny to the table.
Absolutely, man. Only Geek Fam yet to show their secret weapon, perhaps. But in the top side, it is going to be key. Oh my god! That is a one-shot from Keyboy. And Sons Abyssal Arrow connects once more. Bigetron, this is their nightmare. Getting picked off one by one in a team fight composition. Natalia, all he can do is look for the split push, but they're going to be forced to recall only Matt here, as that's going to be the super minions coming in. Yin Yang Overturn going to have to be popped here to clear the waves. One more in the mid lane as Boots tanks up the turret. CW onto the base already. Bigetron Alpha looking for the Amber. Where the dragon comes in. ONIC Styles on Bigetron. A 1-0 lead.
Wow, what a performance. This is insane. We talked about how Bigetron is comfortable playing on the back foot, able to play safe. But against ONIC, with so much playmaking potential on these players, they're just able to secure the game number 1 in such dominant fashion.
Yeah, I mean, your statement, maybe not anymore, Rashi. I mean, the way that they played, they were so out of it. They were so